Hello guys, today we're going to be working on lesson 7, writing and expanding expressions. My target for the day is I can write expressions that record addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be given some sort of uh, verbal description of an expression, and then we have to write the mathematical expression that describes or that shows what is being written here. So what does that mean? Okay, so example number 1. Write an expression to show C being subtracted from the sum of A and B. All right, so let's underline some words here. Okay. Write an expression to show C being subtracted from the sum of A and B. Well, how do we write the sum of A and B? A plus B. All right. And if we want to show C being subtracted from that sum, so show C being subtracted from the sum of A and B, there you have it. There's the sum of A and B, and there's C being subtracted from the sum of A and B. All right, example number 2 says write an expression using the fewest possible symbols and characters. So we kind of did a little bit of this before we left on our long break here. But if I wanted to write 6 times B, right, using the fewest possible symbols or characters, I could just write that as 6B. Now I can do this because I have one number and one variable. Okay, I can't do this. I can't put this in this form if I have two numbers, right? If I said, for example, if I said 6 times 6, I couldn't write that as 66, right? That would not be true. But if I wanted to say 6 times 6, I could use parentheses, right? So if I have a letter and a variable, I can just write them next to each other, and that tells us that we're multiplying. All right, if we take a look at B, I have 5 times M times 3 times P. So what I want to do here is I want to recognize that 5 and 3 can be multiplied together. Okay? 5 times 3 is 15. 15 times M is 15M. And 15M times P is 15MP. Should look just like that. That's how we can write this expression in the fewest possible numbers of symbols and characters. Okay. So again, if we see numbers, we can multiply the numbers together, and then we can just write the variables next to one another. Okay. Let's take a look at a couple more. All right. Now we're moving on to division, and it says the quotient of 6 and M. Well, quotient, that should remind you of the operation division, all right? So I want the quotient of 6 and M, the result of dividing 6 and M. So I could write 6 divided by M but I want to use the least number of symbols and characters. So I could write that as a fraction. 6 divided by m. Okay? Last one, this one's a little bit tricky. Y divided by the quantity of x minus 11. Okay, so y is being divided by something, right? Y is being divided by something. And that something is x minus 11. So I use parentheses to show that this is one term or one expression right there. So if I want to write this as a fraction, so I'm using the least amount of symbols or characters, I can say y is being divided by x minus 11. Okay, this is y divided by the quantity x minus 11. All right, here's the problem set for this lesson. I'm going to do a couple on here. So, number 1, write an expression to show the sum of A, B, and C. Well, sum, that means addition, right? So if I want to show the sum of A, B, and C, A plus B plus C. Let's see, write an expression showing 3 less than P. Less than, that should jump out to you as subtraction, right? So 3 less than P would be P minus 3. Okay? On the back here, we have write each expression 2 ways, using the division symbol and as a fraction. Okay? So, 12 divided by 4, using a division symbol, it's just 12 divided by 4. And you should all know that we can write that as a fraction. 12 divided by 4. All right, and again, if you have any questions, shoot me an email and let me know.